Hello, this is Dr. Lonnie Treese at Willow Tree Counseling in Seattle, Washington. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what it means to me to be a Christian counselor and do Christian counseling. It's a question I often get. And just a backstory about myself, I became a Christian when I was 21 years old and was in graduate school. And I am a Christian first and foremost in my identity. Everything else is secondary to that. That being said, I work with all people. I always have, every kind of person. I don't have judgment for my patients because that's not helpful. First of all, it's not helpful in a counseling setting to have judgment. It's not professional to do that, and it's not biblical. The Bible says that that's between them and God. I try to stay very open and educated in all forms of diversity and also spirituality. And I will be honest and transparent and upfront about my own beliefs and values, and also about any areas of limitation in my training and education and experience with anything. And I'm very open to being informed by my patient and going into more education or trainings to better understand things as that would be helpful to my patients. But mainly Christian counseling comes into play when a patient tells me they're a Christian and they want Christian counseling. They may want to talk about things from that perspective and to process things in that light. The Bible is a very helpful tool for guidance as we look at different aspects of life. The Bible itself is very confirming of what we call cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Cognitive behavioral therapy is pretty much the number one way that therapists help people. The cognitive part is to identify cognitions, which are thoughts that are irrational, negative, getting in the person's way of confidence and self-esteem, and just holding them back, and changing that to what is true, rational, positive, and encouraging. So that's very biblical to identify how you're thinking and change it to take every thought captive for Christ. And then behavioral for CBT means identifying behaviors that you want to change and how to modify and change behaviors, usually bit by bit, toward a more functioning and more joyful way to live your life. Prayer is also very helpful. If a patient wants me to pray or we want to pray together, that's perfectly fine with me. Also not necessary, so it's just an option. And I understand a lot about church communities, and both how church communities can be incredibly helpful as a support network and for fellowship and drawing closer to God, but how sometimes they can be toxic and hurtful, and the person may want a safe place to talk through those more hurtful things that they could have experienced through Christianity and religion and churches. So that's basically it in a nutshell for how I perceive Christian counseling.